All right, so this is the first week after pre-release of Final Fantasy. There's a chance we'll see Final Fantasy cards on today's stream, but I have no idea if that will happen. I played in this event. I did not see any on my side or my opponent's side of the table, so still early.
I'll keep.
Me too. I'll go next. Yeah.
Last turn.
All right, Delver is in. Bloodstained Mire cracked by Rockford. So I don't know a lot about Rockford's deck. It's a Rakdos deck of some kind. It has Phyrexian Devourer with Agatha Soul Cauldron, and that's about all. Hither Vile. Okay, that's not a card I expected to see. We're already seeing some unexpected plays here. Force pitching Ponder counters the Hither Vile though.
Second main. Suspend. And
So why Hither Vile? I don't know. I don't know what to expect here. Kivyuk with a warning for all of us. I went against two different decks on Arena Standard, and both were heavy Final Fantasy themed decks and got whooped both times. All right, Kivyuk. Make sure you add it to the spreadsheet. Keep us updated.
Put these two back on top.
If we need a ban, make sure you tweet it. Richard and Pizza wondering if we'll see Infinite Sagas today. Yeah, who knows?
Turn after that.
It's like the 6th edition rules changes all over again with the Saga rules change. They don't know what they're doing. Arena of Glory into another Hither Vile. This one will resolve. Lord has arrived in the chat. Days revealed. Delver flips. Insectile Aberration online.
Sure. Move to combat.
Yep.
Attack for 3.
15.
Play land for turn. And I will pass turn after that.
I'll pass you.
Sure.
Attack.
So active player, non-active player. So
Yeah.
I'll 4-10 first.
What's that?
Walking Ballista.
And yeah.
Walking Ballista. Okay.
Tap this for blue and I'll draw it.
Sure.
Gets dazed, goes into the trash. Walking Ballista. Okay.
Sulfur Vortex. Force negation, vision, 4-10.
Play wasteland. I'll waste your arena.
The arena gets wasted. Adam in a good position here. Has a 3-power flyer. Vile ticking up though.
Murktide with 4 counters on it.
Murktide with 4 counters as a
Then I will pass the turn.
Hither Vile. Okay, did not tick up Hither Vile that time. Oh, we did. Okay.
You do.
This is Monday Night Legacy. I think it was clear before we started the event. Rockford was playing a brew and a little bit of leniency there.
12,
7-7 Murktide. Rockford's at 12. Yeah, the Walking Ballista was a little bit of a warning.
Move to combat. Attack for 10.
I'm at 2.
Okay, attack for 10. Drops Rockford to 2. Bolt could end the game. Bowmaster viled in on end step.
For 1. I'm hoping they drop
Oh boy.
upkeep, trigger.
Yep.
Vile ticks up to 3. 3. What could we do with 3? I mean, I know what creatures are like 3 drops in the format. I'm just saying, like, what crazy things can we do with a 3? All right, that's a scoop. So Adam up a game. Cecilio very upset about the no orc army token. Yeah, we're gonna have a talk with Rockford at some point. That's just unacceptable. Show respect to this game, to Richard Garfield, to 90s MTG and our viewers, and to Who's our current world champion? I forgot. I was gonna name the world champion, but I forgot who it was. Pew Pew calling for a ban of Rockford now. Looks like Adam's on the verge of a multi 4. That's not very good.
I'll keep these 4.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
A multi 4. It's not good.
Ancient to
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah.
Soul Cauldron.
Yeah.
All right, there's the Soul Cauldron, folks. It's in play. Well, after a multi 4 by Adam, if you're hoping to see this Soul Cauldron deck go off, this might work. Monka has arrived in the chat. Say hello to Monka in the chat, please. Yeah, Soul Cauldron is a really cool card.
It's Bobble.
Yeah.
I'll bobble you.
Bobble you. Look like an Urza Saga on top of the deck.
Oh, you're not going. Oh, I'm
Pass
double
turn,
swing.
draw.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep going. Go ahead.
Combination.
Oh, hey, wow. Hey.
I got one floating.
Yeah. You got one floating.
Results?
Yeah, it's results. Yeah, results.
Okay, Goblin Engineer resolves, I guess. Looking through the deck now is Rockford. I guess we're going to get Phyrexian Devour? I guess. There it is, Phyrexian Devour. It might be on the watch list very soon. This card is crazy. Did they test this card, Phyrexian Devour, by the way?
At the end of your turn, I will bolt him.
Yep.
All right. Bolted the engineer. I kind of saw that coming. Char Twin has arrived.
Brainstorm.
Yep.
Mr. Bip seems to think Phyrexian Devour was not tested for 1v1. I mean, what were they doing when they were, like, printing the cards for the Alliances set? What was going through their minds, Chad?
Yep.
Just unbelievable. Wizards make so many mistakes.
Sacrifice. Steering Forest.
You guys play, right?
Barbarian Ring.
We have to explain the jokes to some of these people. The joke we're explaining the joke. The joke is every set was a mistake. Thundering Fall, Surveil. Every freaking game now we have to surveil, by the way. There's no escaping it.
And pass turn.
Except I'll eat the Devour.
Yep.
All right, the Devourer gets eaten by the Agatha Soul Cauldron. That's what the deck does. Monk is calling customer service about Devour. Yeah, except Beta, Harry. Except Beta.
Crypt, I'll take 3.
Blood Crypt. Okay.
Yes. 9.
Did Rockford say I take 3? Anyway, Goblin Engineer.
You can automate a creature with Devourer's ability. Results.
Yeah, this Devourer deck has a lot of cards in common with the Painter decks, but it's a little bit different. I mean, I just said something super obvious, but yeah, it just plays a little bit differently. It's trying to use the Devourer to win the game. We saw Walking Ballista in game 1. And now we're moving on to game 3. So now Adam will be on the play. A multi 4 made it pretty tough there in game 2, it seems.
Lucky.
Me too.
Pass turn.
Fetch to 4. In that Mystic Sanctuary, putting Cosmic Rebirth on top.
I also didn't play against Rockford at this event. We had a pretty full room for this event. So I didn't get to see what Rockford was playing. I don't watch these games in advance. There could be other things happening in this deck that I just don't know about, and we'll find out together if that's the case.
I'll float a mana. Good to search.
There's that Aether Vial again.
How many cards in hand?
14 target himself. 5.
5 cards in hand. I think I saw a Pyroglyph in hand. Did anyone else see that? Canic Island, okay. Storm with a great question. Who's winning? Whoever has a higher life total is winning. It's a tie right now.
I'm gonna fetch.
Mountain and got it.
All right, there's a brainstorm happening. Adam is aware of Bowmaster in the other deck. Pew Pew says us, the viewers, are winning. Remember hashtag winning, chat? Is that like a long time ago now?
Using the one floating.
Put these 2 back on top.
I don't want to lose
Results.
I will pass the turn.
All right, Vial is in. Kind of hoping this Vial goes off a bit.
Cast Nomad.
I'm a Vial fan.
Go to combat.
So Aether Vial has 1 charge counter. An Urza Saga just dropped in.
Second main. I'll target Cyclops.
Go ahead.
They're neutral.
Maybe a 1-drop that could get Vialed in here would be Goblin Welder, potentially. Is there anything else?
Do the mobilized tokens die?
There's that Thundering Falls again. Adam is going to surveil.
But it lets me get extra things to sack if I need to for Dread Return or do nonsense with.
I'm gonna take off Dread himself.
5 cards in hand.
Yes.
5 cards in hand for Rockford. Urza's Saga. Relevance in the Legacy format is no surprise to anyone. Will the changes to the rules for sagas boost this card to the point where it's too powerful in Legacy? What do you think, chat? I think the answer is no. I think everything's going to be fine. But as most of you know, if you've been hanging out with us in the chat for a while, I'm a little bit more optimistic than many of you.
Put these 2 back on top like that.
Goblin guy.
Untap.
Results.
Keep. Draw.
Thank you.
At least when it comes to Magic cards.
You do.
Play Wasteland.
Wasteland, probably going to go after Saga here. That thing is too powerful. Blows it up. Okay. Rockford with a basic Swamp. Lotus Petal and a Vial. There's a Delver.
Yeah.
Cards in hand. I'll play Bobble. And then I will
Try this.
turn. Yep.
All right, activating the Welder. Putting in nothing. I love that. That is how it's done. To take notes, chat. You never know when your opponent will just fire off a Stifle or something and waste their own card on that.
5 and
4.
Okay.
Not enough pump fakes out there, you Vial players. No harm in activating it. You never know. Your opponent might cast Brainstorm in response for no reason. There is a Paraglyph. Okay. card that we were not expecting to see in this match, I guess. At least I wasn't. Goes after the Delver. Delver down. It looks like it's a 5 power Powerwave.
What's its power on top of this? This counts both like graveyards, right?
Chromox imprinting a Simian Spirit Guide.
On
Creature
mine.
instant land.
Yeah, so it's 5. That's 1, 2, 3. Creature, instant land 5.
Yep.
I was right.
Chromox?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Pew Pew can't believe they power crept Flame Tongue Kavu. Yeah, what a shame.
I'm gonna bobble you. Yep. Untap.
Look like another Urza Saga on top of the deck, maybe?
And then drop return.
Press progress.
Vial on 2 still. Or now, or whatever. Wasteland knocks out the Ancient Tomb. Needless to say, this Pyroglyph is going to have to be dealt with.
It's crazy.
For anyone new around here, multiple Pyroglyphs can get a little nutty if you read the wording on it. Lord with a great question, what Final Fantasy game is Pyroglyph from? I think it was Final Fantasy 3.
So whenever another Pyroglyph enters the battlefield, they will deal damage. Okay. Pass turn.
They both will deal damage.
Got it.
Yeah. And set?
Yeah.
Yeah, activate that vial. Ticks it up to 3.
Thank you. 5.
Hydro Blast.
All right, well, Hydroblast blows up the Pyroglyph. That's pretty good for Adam. The board is clear now of threats on both sides. Vials on 3, though.
You don't have any important.
I don't have any.
Brainstorm, no Bowmaster.
Fire Blaster.
So put these two back on top.
Hard cast the Mind Breaker.
The Syrian Forest.
Practice for green.
I'm sure you're really reading treatment.
No, that's it.
Oh wait, I did.
Oh, you
it
did?
by-
Yeah.
Sorry about that, bro.
No, you're good.
You shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
I failed to find. You failed to find.
What's the.
I literally failed to find.
Yeah.
All right, found the volcanic island, I guess.
I'm right there with you.
Ponder.
Yeah.
Ponder happening here. No responses by Rockford so far. Pretty curious if this vial is going to put anything in on end step. I didn't get to see much of Rockford's hand. Maybe Twitch chat did. I don't know.
Put these two back on top.
Just one more time.
Bobble you.
You need to have threshold for this.
Yep.
Like a great furnace on top of the deck. That could get Rockford a little bit. All right, no activation of the vial there.
This is at 4.
Yeah.
Okay, vial takes up to 4. Vial's going to keep going, I guess. Plays the great furnace.
5 damage when it came into play, right?
It Delver 5
Duh,
damage.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just wanted to be.
Cast a Fable.
Hydro Blast.
Sure.
Okay, Fiddle of the Mirror Breaker gets blue blasted, so that's countered.
That's just kind of questions.
Yeah. I'm sure it's.
And then you gotta go about. You gotta go back and forth.
5.
Well, looks like an 8/8 Murktide could be on its way here. There it is.
3.
Okay. That's fine.
And then I will pass turn.
You can't escape him, right?
Up to you.
No,
5.
you can't.
Vial up to 5. Might see some Furies. Don't know. Fortunately, we haven't seen this Rakdos deck do anything crazy so far. Potentially, we could see Chaos Defiler. That's true. Chaos Defiler is a 5-drop, for anyone wondering, which is why it was mentioned. It's a card from Warhammer. It seems like a lot of people in the Legacy world still have not kind of remembered this card yet. Maybe local painter players for me have been playing it for some time, but I've seen a lot of what card was that for Chaos Defiler out in the wild?
You're gonna play Mistrise Village, my own for turn.
Mistrise Village. Pink reminding everyone, memorize your cards and all cards. Exactly.
Yeah, 8, sorry. Choose this one. No, I shouldn't. Okay.
We have Pro Tour Final Fantasy coming up. There's a Fury. We have Pro Tour Final Fantasy coming up, and I assure you, the players playing on the Pro Tour have every Magic card in every art memorized, as they're supposed to. All right, fetched up a Raucous Theater. We're going to see Rockford Surveil, I think, for the first time in this match. Exciting.
That's so funny.
Vialing in a Fury. I vialed in some 5-drops before myself. It can be kind of nutty. Mostly Solitudes for me, I guess. 6 drops. Muxus. Vial goes up to 6. What's going on? Where? How high will this vial go?
3 now.
3.
Force pitching Force to protect Murktide here from a Pyroblast. Rockford is at 8. Phyrexian Devourer in hand. That is the match. Adam gets it. Soul Cauldron was on top of the deck. That is unfortunate. GG's. Well played. Well played. Let's get another poll up for the chat. Keep things moving along. Which match next? Your options will be Dreadnought versus Rug Delver. Rug Delver versus Is It Delver, I believe. Mirrorish. Or Rug versus Mystic Forge. You have 1 minute. Get your votes in. We had a bunch of Delver at the shop this past Monday. What does that mean about the meta? You tell me. By the way, I have not played against Oops All Spells. The streak continues. I have not played a single match against Oops All Spells since, I think, October. Ezra's played against Rockford on Monday, and he did vial in a Defiler. So there's proof of that. Defiler was in the deck. That would have been pretty good at blowing up that Murktide for sure. All right, votes are coming in the chat. Which match is next? It is up to the chat. It's Numba. Thank you for the resub with Prime. 3 months. Lord says, come to the West Coast. Lots of Oops players. You know what, Lord? I'm good. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. I like our meta just fine. What are you doing on the West Coast? The West Coast meta. The dog contributed 1,200 channel points. Dreadnought versus Rug Delver is up next. Let's do it. Diving in. Rolling back on the left with Temur Delver. Reagan on the right with Dreadnought. Roland wearing a very nice shirt. If you are interested in getting a shirt, links are all over the place. Okay, looks like Reagan has mulligan to 6, Roland on a mulligan to 5, it seems, shuffling up here. I went with Roland for pizza after this event, and the the pizza shop people saw Roland's shirt and gave him a free slice. I had to pay for mine. 2 cards on the bottom for Roland, a Multa 5 for Roland, Multa 6 for Reagan. We are ready to go. Polluted Delta is correct. Delver of Secrets. Harry with a statement, lesson learned. Yeah, my lesson was learned for sure. All right, with the Delver on the other side of the table, Reagan cracks a fetch. I don't know if the player sat down knowing what the others will be playing. Pink wondering if I paid for both slices. Roland's slice was on the house, just for wearing a 90s MTG shirt. Tamio for Reagan. Gets dazed.
Oh, no, please. Oh, please.
No flip of the Delver. Swinging for 1. Roland brainstorming here. Could be setting up a flip of the Delver. Not knowing what Reagan is on, perhaps getting the brainstorm fired off now before a Bowmaster could be available. We have the overlays to tell us what decks the players are playing, but the players might not know when they sat down. There's a Flooded Strand for Reagan. Ponder. MTG Vertuck, thank you for the sub with Prime. Appreciate it. All right, Delver's going to flip. Brainstorm revealed on top of the deck for Roland.
Yeah, so it's basically when it comes into play.
Swinging in with the Insectile Aberration. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Getting that offense up and running ASAP. Flooded Strand cracked now by Reagan. Potentially going to Surveil. Its number says bought some of the Final Fantasy prints of Counterspell, Bolt, and Brainstorm. You know, the Final Fantasy set has some legacy relevant cards with Final Fantasy art and characters on them, and those are probably going to be hot, is my guess. Okay, finds a Tundra, maybe revealing to Roland that we are not blue-black. At least not only blue-black. Swords on DRC on end step. Chance to surveil here and brainstorm. Maybe a daze could save it. Yeah, there's a new promo preordain. There were a bunch of other legacy relevant cards in Secret Lairs with Final Fantasy art on them and whatever. So there's like new Lightning Bolt, new Swords to Plowshares in the Commander set, new Brainstorm, Preordain, bunch of others. Oh, they definitely know what they're doing. They know what cards we want. Daze on the swords. So got punished a little bit there, not playing around Daze, potentially. But maybe Reagan setting up for some Dreadnought stuff. We'll have to see how this plays out. Went right after that Dragon's Rage Channeler, but couldn't get it done.
For DRC again? Is it? It's any non-creature. But is it for? But like, when does it have the +2/+2? Has to without 4 types. 4 types. Yeah. So right now only 2 types. Land in this instance.
Yeah, so Roland does not have Delirium yet. That's what Reagan's checking now. 2 types in the yard. Volcanic Island. Okay, so it's this is a Jeskai. It has Jeskai mana in the deck. It's possible still at this point Roland does not know what he's up against. It's not clear to me if I'm in Roland's seat as of right now. This is a Dreadnought deck. Could be just a Jeskai control build of some kind, potentially.
Waste targeting. Tundra.
Wasteland on Tundra makes sense.
Doorkeeper.
Okay, Doorkeeper Thrall in the main tells us a little bit more about what a lot more about what's going on. Doorkeeper Thrall is a combo card with Phyrexian Dreadnought. Someone just coughed. They were immediately removed from the venue. Hard mode. Thank you for the resover prime. 17 months. Appreciate it.
Brainstorm? Sure.
Previous round on today's stream, we saw Phyrexian Devourer. Now we have Phyrexian Dreadnought. The Phyrexians, maybe the Phyrexians won, chat.
Structure.
Yeah, maybe the Volcanic Island is in this deck is just for the flex. That's possible. Kraken to fetch now is Reagan. At 10 life against the 3 power flyer bolt deck, you're starting to get into a kind of urgent part of the game. Need to figure out how to get these flyers off the board or just combo off or whatever. Chartwin just gifted 10 subs. Thank you, Chartwin, and our sub goal was reached. Thank you, Chartwin.
Brainstorm? Sure.
All right, a brainstorm here for Reagan.
You're up. Draw. Spell trigger. 13.
Mishra's Bauble, Cervelle. Take a look at the top of Reagan's library. Dress Down was sitting on top. Thank you, Roland, for showing us. Dress Down could be interesting. It's not the worst card for Reagan to have. Reagan does have the Doorkeeper Thrall, though. It's unlikely that Roland has any cards in the deck that are affected by the Thrall, but Reagan's deck certainly has some. We could see Null Drifter. We could see Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Dress down?
Henstep Dress Down, okay.
Sure. Draw off dress down? Yep. And then I'll draw during your upkeep. Yeah, untap, upkeep, draw for turn.
All right, so a Dress Down is on the board because it was cast on Roland's end step. It will stick around until the next end step. Tamio, okay. It has no abilities right now, which is a little awkward. Seems like Tamio's still on the stack. Roland thinking. I think Roland has priority right now. All right, so Tamio resolved. Dress down goes away on end step. Roland's creatures get their abilities back, but we know about another dress down available for Reagan right now. It looks like Roland still does not have Delirium. 3 types in the yard. Our mayor, thank you for the resub with Prime. 8 months, and a hype train just started, everybody. Delver for Roland. Continuing to deploy creatures. Insect Elaboration coming in. Reagan is at 7.
I'll block it, Timmy. Sure.
Jump block with Tamio. Roland will take that. End step dress down. Resolves.
Draw. The Dreadnought.
Okay, plays a Dreadnought.
3.
3 cards in Reagan's hand. Phyrexian Dreadnought. Did they test this card? I don't think they did. Force pitching force.
Oh, no. Yeah, so
Surveilling a Delver into the yard gives Delirium.
so down to 10.
Yeah, it goes to 10.
This goes to 10.
Yeah, so it's 3 and I'm gonna move.
So you take 2. So you're down to 8.
I have 4 types now.
And then up 3.
Yes.
All right, rolling, letting everybody know we got 4 types in the yard. Swords on DRC resolves. Okay, so had the removal. Dress down goes away. Delver doesn't flip. That's Reagan catching a little bit of a break here. Yeah, there should not have been a surveil with dress down in play. That's very true.
Dreadnought's good.
Another Dreadnought. It resolves. Bolt on top. That might be game. Good catch on the error there, it seems. Players missed that.
Yeah, so you got
All right, game 1. I forgot what game we were in. Game 1 goes to Roland.
We were getting pretty deep there.
Yeah.
Oh, surveils.
All right, Roland will be on the play here for game 2. I mean, Reagan will be on the play here for game 2. Roland will not.
I'll try it.
All right, both players kept 7. Ready to go.
Sure.
Turn 1 Ponder for Reagan. Cantripping. About a minute left on our hype train, it seems. Sub, gift, or use bits. Get us to another level. Looks like right now, Char Twin is going to become a hype train conductor. Our channel record is level 9. Very interesting. Wasteland knocks out that Volk. A Wasteland for Reagan might be cut off of blue and red already.
It's not up. Okay. I'm just saying.
So Roland fetches up a Volk, plays a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Force of Will. Pitching days.
You want to go?
Dragon's Rage Channeler down.
$19 and oh, waste your draw.
Okay, waste on the volcanic island on end step. Plays another wasteland.
But it lets me get extra things to sign.
I think it's better to hold that wasteland until you draw for your turn and make sure you're not going to need that wasteland, then fire it off. It doesn't really make that big of a difference, in my opinion. Hype train complete. Thank you for the subs. Another cracked fetch here for Roland. I earned a hype chest. Very nice. All right, a ponder for Roland. Good old ponder. Roland bursts into the chat with 10 gifted subs. Thank you, Roland. What's up, Roland? Roland's on screen. Roland's in the chat. Roland's number 2 on our all-time gifter leaderboard. Roland, of course, a pillar of our community.
Draw off of that. Pick up something and then draw. Okay. That's fine. So, draw, and then I'll draw during your upkeep. Sure. Upkeep. Draw turn. Yep.
Roland says, always an honor to be on stream. I think the honor is all of ours, Roland. I was, who was there? Me, Force of Phil, Roland, and Dave Marchese were chomping on some pizza Monday night, talking about the meta, comparing our spreadsheet data. Reagan needs some non-wasteland lands.
Trigger.
Delver Trigger on the stack. Shrimp has arrived in the chat.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Char Twin, now a Hype Train conductor. Thank you, Char Twin. Thank you, Roland. All right, Brainstorm sets it up. Unholy Heat revealed on top of the deck. Insect Elaboration now face up on the table. The 3-power flyer. Offense is up and running. Reagan's mana not really up and running. Has some wastelands, but Dragon's Rage Channeler for Roland. Potentially another 3-power flyer. We saw a Force of Will on a DRC earlier in this game. Reagan could be in serious trouble here. Seems like Reagan has priority right now, thinking about DRC on the stack. Force pitching dress down. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler gets forced in this game. Basic planes, okay. It's something. Could unlock some removal. Wasteland on the Volk. Might as well. Roland gets to untap.
Swing.
Okay, Swords on Insect Elaboration. It's gone.
Second main.
Is this where Roland slams Murktide? I knew it. Oh, that was so predictable. Looks like it's only going to be a 5-5, though. 5-5 Murktide. Keeping 3 types in the yard, potentially for future DRCs and delirium spells like Unholy Heat. Does Reagan have another swords? If you're rooting for Dreadnought, you hope so. Had another swords, Murktide down. Getting that basic planes right on time, it seems. Roland claims I see the future. You know what? Maybe.
2 cards in. 2 cards. 2 cards? Yeah.
I am the future. Wow. Wow. All right, passing it back. If you're rooting for Reagan, we're hoping for some blue mana, I guess. Roland is holding a Wasteland in hand, it looks like. Held off on it for now because Reagan can just waste it and there would be nothing for Roland to hit. Also, Roland might wait for Reagan to give something more interesting to blow up. Basic island, and now it seems Reagan is going to get started. Knoll Drifter.
Yep. Draw 2. And then enters.
Doesn't it die or?
Oh yeah, it does. I'm sorry.
Yeah, enters and dies. Yeah. I was like, I'm assuming that was.
All right, Reagan, do you want to counter it? Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yep, it does.
Gotta check. I agree. Does it resolve? You never know. Make your opponent make a mistake, Jack. I think that's the lesson of today's stream so far. Give your opponent opportunities to make a mistake. Sometimes they'll make a mistake.
Cards and you. 3.
So Roland played a Wasteland now. Could go after the Wasteland on the other side. Potentially. A little awkward not to. Waste your waste, I like to play. Cut Reagan off the 3rd mana. Reagan's been struggling with mana so far this game.
Yep.
Polluted Delta gets cracked. It's another Volk. Maybe Roland rethinking the fetch here? Nope. We're good.
Sorry. It's all good. I'm usually much slower.
Hurry up.
I gotta say that one.
Tropical Island found.
And during your upkeep, I'll have. I'm gonna seek the beast. Beast getting seeked. Okay. What's the seek the beast part of it? So I'll reveal it, or I'll.
Okay, Seek the Beast getting cast here on Reagan's upkeep. Exile the top 2 cards of the library until your next end step. You may play those cards. So they'll be available until Roland's end step of the next turn.
So this is on adventure.
Still no adventure token for Roland. Uses a die. Very interesting. So a Wasteland and a Flood Strand found. Not the most exciting.
Good draw.
Yep.
There have been a lot of Wastelands in this game on both sides. At least it feels that way. Reagan with no plays. Rolling with 2 lands available to play from exile. Questing Druid, likely going to hit this turn. There it is.
And
He gets a counter whenever again. What is the?
whenever I play a red, black, blue, or white spell.
Got it.
Yep.
Roland naming the colors all out of order? Oh my goodness.
No, on the token.
Yeah.
I'm complaining about everything.
And I'll pass over to you.
All right, Roland chooses the Wasteland. The Flooded Strand is gone forever. Passes it back to Reagan, who drops a Tamio to start. Looks like Roland's holding an Unholy Heat and a Bolt.
But before damage, get you on card top.
Temur is fine.
Unholy Heat can also hit Planeswalkers. Tamio might be in trouble either way.
I'm going to.
Reagan with no blue mana. Makes sense to go right after it here. Bolting Reagan here. Okay. You know what? I dig it. Bolt you drops Reagan to 11. Questing Druid gets a counter. Yeah, Flooded Strand's gone forever. Roland going right after Reagan's life total. Ignoring Tamio for now.
Cards? 4. 4 cards.
4 cards in hand for Reagan. I think a lot of players in that situation would be thinking, like, I have the opening, I will bolt Tamio. Roland keeping in mind, we have to close out this game. And before Reagan can recover from the mana screw earlier in this game and drop some Dreadnoughts on me. Bolt to the face. Let's see how this works out. Okay, now Unholy Heat with Delirium on Tamio. Tamio down. Questing Druid will attack for 3. Reagan drops to 8. Ponder for Reagan here. Questing Druid, 3 power on the other side. Reagan at 8 life. This Questing Druid will be able to take pretty big chunks out of that life total over the next 2 turns, potentially. Priority might be finding removal. You don't want to get a Dreadnought successfully on the table and then have to hold it back to block. Roland's at 25.
Drop. Sure.
So technically right now, Roland could absorb 2 hits from a Dreadnought. Roland gets to untap. Reagan with no further land drops.
Chain lightning.
Chain Lightning to the face.
Yeah. And what's the? I can chain it or whatever.
You can chain it back if you play 2 red.
Take 3.
Yes. It's up to
Reagan drops to 5. Questing Druid is a 4 power now. Reagan drops to 1. That is the match. Roland gets it. GG's. Well played.
2 Null and 2 Pyrolite.
Well played. I love that. Really well played. Let's set up the next poll. Which match next? Twitch chat will vote. Temur Delver versus Mystic Forge. Temur Delver versus Is It Delver? Sword of a Mirror. Wizards versus Temur. Or Temur versus Miracles. I warned everybody, we have a lot of Temur in the queue. Vote now in the chat. 1 minute. Our Discord server is up on your screen. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. We have a merch shop. We have a Patreon. We have a coffee page. Links are all over the place. Click on them. Use them. Look at them. Think about them. And be inspired to join the family. Become a member of 90s MTG. Unlock a bunch of cool stuff in our Discord server and perks on whatever platform. Remember that you could sub for free with Prime right here on Twitch. Amazon Prime. Gives you a free Twitch sub every month. And make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel if you're not already. That's free and easy and good for the body, good for the mind. Almost out of time on this poll. Close vote. Temur versus Miracles is up next. Our mayor contributed 1,050 channel points. Let's do it. Setting up. Diving in.
I would not being unfair. Alrighty.
Rolling back on the left with Temur Delver. Force of Phil Bleckman of Eternal Turtles joins us on the right with Miracles. If you're a fan of the channel, this is a bit of a clash of the titans, I guess. Two fan favorites. Force of Phil and Roland been with us since the beginning. I've been playing legacy matches against these two for a very long time now. And honestly, two of the coolest people I know and tightest Magic players I know. Should be some good games. Battle of Bling, yeah, maybe.
I don't want to plan it. It's just too beautiful.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I like it. It's also really good on camera. Like all the bright colors look really nice on camera.
And then, like, you just spend time.
Scott, number one on our gifter leaderboard, says it's nice to see Phil back on screen again. Force of Phil, everybody. What you're feeling right now is the Force of Phil. The 90s MTG Legacy Open is July 13th. Not full yet, but, I mean, get your ticket.
Yeah.
Could have been for us.
One card on the bottom for Roland. We are ready to go. Portent target myself. Wow.
You want to share this?
Yes, that's fine. Cool. Here we go.
I have memories from, so Roland and Phil were playing Legacy for a while longer than I had. When I started playing Legacy, they were, kind of the veteran players in the room, showing me the ropes. I remember playing against them, making so many mistakes. I didn't really know much about the Legacy format at that time. And I remember Phil giving me pointers. I remember Roland giving me pointers. Roland's always been a community organizer, kind of onboarded me to some local private events that were going on at the time. I remember playing Terminus off the top for Phil. All Miracle fans going crazy in the chat. Delver goes away. But I remember playing Deathrite Shaman, Control Mirrors against Phil, and every match I played I learned some things. So if you're sifting through the matches on our channel, looking to learn more about this format, figure out the play patterns, as we call them, and the whole thing, keep an eye out for Roland and Phil. You'll learn something, as I once did.
Here we go.
UFC.
Dragon's Rage Channeler. Ponder Surveil. Roland MTG says, now Chris is giving us all the pointers. Yeah, now I'm the now I'm the master.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Go ahead.
I swear I'm not lining it up this way.
Another Terminus. Ouch.
We're gonna Foxes you, trigger.
Folks, I know this is a crazy thing to say, but I'm not sure the miracle mechanic was tested for 1v1. Force of negation on the Terminus, protecting Dragon's Rage Channeler here. And then prismatic ending. All right. So we got the Dragon's Rage Channeler off the board. We got a Force of negation out of hand. This game is happening, folks. Pay attention, everybody.
Cards.
Yeah, this feels like a 90s MTG Super Bowl, doesn't it? Richard and Pizza puts it perfectly.
I'll pass.
Murktide, 5/5. No Terminus this time.
Go to next.
Phil searches for a Trop. Okay.
Play this.
Up the beanstalk. Okay. Okay. Phil's not messing around today.
Block the
How important target is it?
Sure.
Oh, nice.
Twitch chat can't believe it.
Sacrifice a creature or artifact, right?
Twitch chat losing their minds after a Force of Phil beanstalk hit the table.
But yeah, you did.
Important shuffle here.
Crazy.
Gotta believe in the heart of cards. I'll pass.
Well, Roland's going to swing with this Murktide for the first time. It will get in. Brainstorm for Roland.
Brainstorm.
Scott says 5 gift subs trigger beans. Yeah. There you go. And then Scott gifts 5 subs. Thank you, Scott. Trigger the beans. Of course. Scott, number 1 on our all-time gifter leaderboard, leading the way, leading us through the darkness that is Legacy. Thank you, Scott.
Swing for 3.
For real, thank you, Scott, for all the support. Really appreciate it.
Go. Go ahead.
So, excuse me. A Wasteland took out the Trop. Worsafil loses a land, doesn't make another land drop, passes the turn. Swords on the Murktide. Murktide down.
This is 3.
This, I guess the Beanstalk on Phil's side has not triggered yet, right? Once it starts, all right, Terminus off the top, just going to draw a card off the beans. Kind of cycle to Terminus there. Don't see that often. Brainstorm here. If you've been hanging out with us on stream for a while, you're aware that Phil's decks usually use Mystic Sanctuary to move things around, and multiple Terminus now in the graveyard. The longer this game goes, especially with the Beanstalk on the table, Roland is just going to sink here. Roland needs to get the offense back up and running as soon as possible. So far on today's stream, we have not yet seen a Final Fantasy card. Those of you out there playing Legacy, I know we're like a couple of days in, not even a week, but like what Final Fantasy cards are you seeing in the Legacy Wild so far? Have you seen any? Do we have anything to report? Is everyone okay? Does anyone have product fatigue? If so, you should talk to your doctor. Wasteland takes out Phil's third land, plays the Mystic Sanctuary tapped. That Wasteland was pretty effective, it seems. Roland says, what is Final Fantasy?
Yes.
Roland thinks the newest set is Strixhaven. Roland has no idea what's going on. Mystic Sanctuary, Prismatic Ending on the Delver. Misty Rainforest. Sorry. It could find a Mystic Sanctuary. It is not one yet. But Phil in a really good position here, needless to say.
Pass.
Twitch chat saying VV might be the only broken card from Final Fantasy for Legacy. Lord is playing Tifa Infect this weekend. Interesting.
You got 4 cards down.
There's a questing druid.
I have 4 cards. Go.
Seek is good.
Oh, Seek the Beast is happening. Not. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong name, but Seek the Beast, the adventure.
Adventure.
Yeah, Phil will need eventually to win this game by attacking with something, most likely. So Roland has a Delver. Roland has a questing druid. Triggering the druid here. Phil might be able to put a terminus on top. It's looking kind of rough. So Flooded Strand cracks here.
Go brainstorm.
Nero saying Fire Magic might be a sideboard consideration for Legacy Moon Stompy. Possibly. So Brainstorm moved to the top of the deck, I think I saw. End step Bolt You. Scott saying it's a flex to grab Brainstorm there. He's going to do it during Roland's turn. On your upkeep, cracking Misty Rainforest. It's most likely going to find a Mystic Sanctuary. Element saying hello in the chat.
I'll put Terminus on top.
Terminus moving from the graveyard to the top of the deck.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Just get
I'll cast Brainstorm.
44 Civil. Catching days.
Force pitching Daze on the Brainstorm.
Force back going to 8.
Force pitching Force for Phil. Draw a card off the beans, and the card is Terminus. Ouch!
Yep.
I'll leave it on top.
It's all Brainstorm?
Yep.
That was brutal.
I might keep. I'll fetch. 11.
Go ahead.
Draw.
Phil's at 8, though. Phil's at 8. This is not over, folks. If anyone can navigate getting a win here, it's Roland. It's going to be tough, though, needless to say.
Yeah.
Mishra's Bob will take a look at my own top card.
Pass over to you. Draw during your upkeep.
Cards.
3. Go.
Treat the angels off the top here for Phil.
I'll make 2 angels draw a card.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Should Phil have drawn a card off Beanstalk there? That might have been an error.
Yeah.
Just pay 1 for. Just pay 1.
Yeah, it's cards on it, and
I have 5.
That's 3 types. Last one, I'll exile the graveyard.
yeah, so 4 types.
Oh, Scott, you're right. Yeah, mana value is white, white, white plus 4. Yeah, I forgot that the X is X. You're right. You're totally right.
Yep. 7. Is that turn? Yeah, yeah, sure. Take it. You're at 7. Okay.
Swing for 8.
I'm totally wrong. I forgot how that works for a moment. Just in case, we will still be reporting to the to the DCI. I was gonna say FBI. Maybe we'll report to them too. I don't know.
Well, those are yours. And lightning turn.
Just to make sure. Chain lightning. Phil drops to 5. This is not over. This is not over.
That's you. Upkeep trigger.
Upkeep. Before Phil draws.
That's a brainstorm.
Sure.
Brainstorm here for Roland. Bolt, bolt. If you're rooting for Roland, you're hoping for bolts. If you're rooting for Phil, you're hoping for no bolts. Yeah, Scott absolutely right describing it perfectly how the entreat beanstalk interaction works. X is... Oh, here's a bolt. Another bolt.
Come to Swords and Angel.
All right, Phil had a Swords to eliminate an angel and gain 4 life to save himself here. That is rough for Roland. Attacks with an angel. Roland will drop to 9. Roland had the double bolt, and it wasn't enough still. But Phil's at 3. Roland searching through the deck, finds a volcanic island. 1 more bolt in the deck, Roland tells us.
4 cards.
4 cards in Phil's hand. Phil staying hydrated. Where is the Snapcaster? Screams Lord in the chat. Here's a Delver. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. Phil has a Flooded Strand. I think has 1 more Mystic Sanctuary in the deck. I'm assuming there are 4. If there are not 4, Roland could be in decent shape here.
Can I see your... I just want to know how many bolts we've gone through.
3 bolts.
3 bolts.
And also the chain lightning.
Phil trying to figure out what Roland could have left in the deck here. 3 bolts have been used already.
Alright, I'm going to End of your turn, Swords My Angel, go to 7.
Sure.
End step, Swords My Angel go to 7. Crack Flooded Strand.
I'll put an Entreat on top.
Finds a Mystic Sanctuary, putting Entreat the Angels on top of the library.
Thanks.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Make 6 Angels. Draw card.
Yep.
Making 6 Angels this time, drawing off the beans.
Yeah, that's fine.
Game 1 goes to Force of Phil. Fill up a game.
Yep.
All right, Roland will be on play here for game 2. So far, a good match.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Both players kept 7. Should be a good one. All right, cracking Mr. Rainforest is Roland. We're potentially going to see a turn 1 creature.
Play a DRC.
Dragon's Rage Channeler has announced. Hydroblast. So it's likely some number of daisies were trimmed from the deck, right? Potentially.
Go. Pitching.
Force pitching Delver, Surveil. Hydroblast counter, Dragon's Rage Channeler sticks around. 2 types in the yard for Roland. Roland holding a Chain Lightning, it looks like. Kept in some burn, hoping to speed up the clock, it seems. Going right after it. Chain Lightning to the face. Roland understands if we're going to win some games here in this match, we're going to have to win them quickly. Cannot have Phil alive for 30 turns and expect to win. Tundra for Phil. Hydroblast number 2. DRC down.
No, not yet. Oh, yeah, I do.
Now we're cantripping. Ponder. Lord saying so much tempo. I was feeling that tempo too, Lord. I'm feeling it too.
Go like this, go ahead.
Tempo, of course, a concept that Magic players definitely know what it is. And when you feel it, you'll know too. Or something. Wasteland took out the Tundra. Phil finds another land. Up the Beanstalk. There it is. Well, Twitch chat was very surprised to see Beans on Phil's board in game 1. Rolling bolts to the face. Trying to speed up the clock here. Phil finds another land. Passes it back.
This doesn't have any others built.
No,
right?
it's just
Brainstorm the answer?
Yep. Okay.
You have more challenges than I have then. I can go.
Brainstorm on set. Phil could be setting up some miracles, setting up some Shuffles.
And to cycle this?
Yep.
Okay, Terminus, trigger the beans. With that on the stack, fetch it. Tight plays. Yeah, potentially Triumph of St. Catherine could be really good in this match. St. Catherine, really good against Delver. Unfortunately, St. Catherine, not seeing it much in Legacy these days, but if control decks simmer to the top of the metagame again, I'm sure we'll see St. Catherine again. Mystic Sanctuary.
Okay, we have 15.
Presidium Protectiva. Another Beanstalk for Force of Fill. Pretty good. 2 Beanstalks on the battlefield for Phil. No creatures for Roland. Roland with a Brainstorm looking for stuff to do. Brainstorm resolves. This Bant Miracles deck that Phil is playing seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Take a moment while this Brainstormer is resolving. Make sure you're following 90s MTG on Blue Sky, Instagram. Make sure you're in our Discord. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're following our Twitch. That's all. Harry wondering what's a Blue Sky. You know what, Harry? I don't think anyone even knows, but follow it anyway.
Yep.
Ponder happening for Phil. Plays a Flooded Strand, which could become a Mystic Sanctuary, as we have seen. Roland needs creatures.
Sounds good.
Okay, Roland has followed the 90s MTG Blue Sky, it seems. We'll see.
They shuffle and then they go on the bottom. And then we're gonna fetch, go to 16.
Yeah, they don't test the cards anymore. They come up with an idea for a card and they just print it the same day.
Yeah.
It's true. So Phil with double Beanstalks, Rolling with no creatures. Vantage bar sliding over to the right as this game goes long. Passing it back to Phil. Yeah, I think Up the Beanstalk has been a great card for Legacy. Positive impact on the format, in my opinion. Corey Steel Cutter. We're seeing a lot of Corey Steel Cutter at the top tables at the locals here in New York City. It doesn't seem like Cutter is popular on MTGO. I don't even have MTGO. Is that true? Is it just like a New York thing? Or are the Cutters a legit top Legacy deck in your mind?
Lantern.
Soul Guide Lantern could be interesting.
You got it.
We'll trigger and I'll take out
Phil is doing stuff with the graveyard, of course.
Hydro Blast on the turn. What's this one right here?
Flutter.
Flutter Strand? Okay. Let's go with the. You only have one Hydro Blast. Right? I'll take a Hydro Blast out. Alright.
Okay, Hydroblast taken by Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah, of course. I'll ping you online. Sounds good, Fred. Take it easy, man. Have a good night.
Pretty gross. I did have a night to phase out somebody, but
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, Brainstorm here for Phil.
It's very.
Yep.
you on the play.
Prismatic ending on the Soul Guide. Roland's gonna cycle it. Draw a card. Yeah, it seems like maybe the best cutter deck has yet to be found. Maybe. Rolling with 3 Volks now. Ball Lightning, maybe?
I'll end my turn.
All right, just passing the turn. Price of Progress, okay. Hydroblast. Pyroblast and the Hydroblast. This is a fight. Another Hydroblast. Force. Pitching a Delver. Price of Progress could be game winning here. Phil's going to fetch for the Misty Rainforest. Mystic Sanctuary could put a Hydroblast on top and then draw it somehow. Hydroblast to the top.
I'll go to 7, pitching a Brainstorm, draw 2.
Force pitching Brainstorm, draw 2 off the beans. Top card of the deck is Hydroblast. Price of Progress most likely getting countered here. Phil drops to 7.
Have a good night, everyone.
Later.
There's the stack. Roland has another Force pitching Consign. And that is the match. Hydroblast on top of the deck. Was going to get drawn anyway. GG's. Phil gets it. Well played. Well played. Jeffrey, thank you for the sub with Prime. 14 months for Jeffrey. Wow. Let's have another poll for the chat. Wizards versus Temur Delver. Temur versus Izzet. Wizards versus Ninjas. Or Miracles versus Temur Delver, a different Temur Delver match. 1 minute. Get your votes in. Discord server up on your screen. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. We have a merch shop. We have a Patreon. We have a coffee page. Click on them. Check them out. Give them a chance, etc. Monka seems to think Wizards versus Ninjas could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what the Twitch chat wants, Monka. All right, some votes are coming in here. Twitch chat seems pretty decided. Almost out of time, but some extra votes are coming in. People are spamming the vote. All right, Wizards versus Ninjas is up next. Riz contributed 1,950 channel points. Monka says I may have rigged that. It's possible. Let's do it. Let's do it. Diving in.
On.
It is the
Alright, I'll be on.
hockey.
Last match was very grindy, so I just need to like shuffle.
All right, we have Wizards on the left. That would be David. And on the right, we have Ninjas. That will be Paul. Monka just gifted 5 subs. Thank you, Monka T. Thank you, Monka.
This is the first die roll. Oh no, I won last one.
Monka says 35% off gifted subs, an offer I can't refuse. Thank you, Monka T. AP says, I'm here now. We can restart the stream. You know what? One day we'll just restart when AP asks, but not today. Basic Island. Beautiful Ice Age Island. Ornithopter, and then a Tameo. AP just gifted 10 subs. Thank you, AP. Really appreciate it. Where's AP on our leaderboard? I know they're up there. 6th on our all-time leaderboard. Harry just gifted 5 subs. Thank you, Harry. Harry, number 5 on our leaderboard. Thank you, AP. Thank you, Harry. And thank you, Monka. Bunch of gifted subs just came in. 35% off gifted subs, an offer nobody can refuse, I guess. They're giving 35% off. They're practically giving them away. When do you ever get 35% off anything? Harry wondering how there's not a hype train. We did have a hype train very recently. There is a little bit of a cooldown on that. Yeah, 35% off is basically free. AP understands. There is Retrofitter Foundry. This card was hot in Legacy a couple of years ago. Kind of isn't seen as much these days, but it's still out there. One of the best 1-mana artifacts in this format, for sure.
Actually, no, it's fine.
And it's pretty cool with Ornithopter. This time it gets forced, though. Pitching Brainstorm.
And go with us.
Yeah, remember 8-Cast, remember Steel Stompy. Yeah, Retrofitter Foundry saw playing a bunch of decks at one point. There was I was playing it in a Jeskai Ragavan deck. I know Ragavan mentioned. Sorry, Legacy players. Trigger warning. Bunch of Saga decks were playing it when Saga was new. There's a Belful Strix. This card's still hot in Legacy. Bowmaster. Uh-oh.
It resolves the CTBs.
That's still on the
Yeah, exactly.
Ramalito arrived in the chat. Force pitching Brainstorm.
Strix resolves. Nope, I don't got it. There you go. Sorry.
Croc 64, absolutely right. The Jeskai Ragavan decks were beautiful. I loved those decks so much. I played the hell out of that deck.
And you fetched. I got it.
Fetch and plus.
I've already expressed I was very much PO'd when Ragavan was banned. Ramalito with a great question. How do you find the current meta? So, I don't have MTGO. I only play at our local tournaments. Someone's going to jump in here and be like, the meta is 16% oops. Okay, I have not played against oops all spells since October of 2022, maybe. And there's not that much Reanimator. I'm having a good time. I go to an event. I'm jamming. I leave, and I feel like I had a great time. Some of you jamming MTGO are not having a good time, and I don't know how to help you. And that's where we are.
So you take one. Yes, flips, land for turn.
So Tameo flips into a Planeswalker. We got 3 clues top center of your screen. Ornithopter, Baleful Strix. A lot of stuff happening on the ninja side. We haven't even seen a wizard yet. There's an Undercity Sewer we're going to surveil. Monka says you're a wizard, Harry. Badlands dumped it to the graveyard. There's a Ponder. AP says the meta is 112% Wizard Stompy, and none of us know why. Yeah, double check that on your spreadsheet, AP. No number should be above 100%. You might have clicked on the wrong thing.
Let's go to the next one.
All right, we're moving on to the next game. Ninjas takes game 1. Ninjas up a game. Getting ready to go. Wizards will be on the play here for game 2. We didn't see much ninjas yet either. That's true. We have not seen a ninja or a wizard yet in this match, have we? Wow. All right, looks like one card going to the bottom for Paul. Scalding Tarn Cracked here for David. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. Good start. The hand is revealed. Basic Island, Ponder, Kaito, Force of Will, and... Oh, what's this card? You exile your graveyard or a creature you control?
There's a creature in graveyard.
Strategic betrayal.
Strategic Betrayal. I couldn't think of the name and then I thought of it. Target opponent exiles a creature they control and their graveyard. I think I said or. It's both. Turn 1 Tamio. After the Ponder was taken. Not bad. Paul needs land. Force pitching Brainstorm. I like the Force of Will here. Tamio countered. Doesn't bother to protect it. There's a Brainstorm for David. Kaito, Force of Will, Strategic Betrayal. No second land. David might be in good shape here. Let's see. Draws a card, passes it back.
Good?
Yep.
Another Thoughtseize, Eureka revealed. Force of Will is taken. Eureka the Tiger's Shadow has a new version in Final Fantasy. We were talking a little bit earlier about Final Fantasy versions of cards. Yeah, AP is absolutely right. Ninja's in a tough spot right now. Missing land drops, no threats. Yeah, we have not seen Eureka on stream in a very, very long time, if ever. Have we ever seen Eureka on stream? We had to at some point. Don't remember. Got some bits coming in the chat. Thank you, Alec. Belful Strix. Bowmaster.
Pink face.
Belful Strix, not the best against Bowmaster. It's going to have 2 counters on the Orc army. Passing it back to David. This Bowmaster's pretty good. Attacking for 3. All right, we're making land drops.
What's your actual cost? 3? Okay.
Retrofitter Foundry. Retrofitter Foundry can start making some servos. AP hoping to see a Kaido on the wizard side. That could be funny. We still haven't seen a wizard.
Yep.
Neither a wizard or a ninja has hit the battlefield yet in this match, have they? I'm getting upset. All right, passes it back. End step, make a servo. Beautiful Ice Age basics. Found a 4th land. Okay. Are we going to see a ninja finally? Yeah, it makes sense to go for the Betrayal here. I like that play.
Yeah.
Strategic Betrayal on the stack. Card from Tarkir Dragonstorm. I realize people that don't have every card memorized might not know what this one is. You exile a creature you control in your graveyard. Getting rid of the Orc army and the graveyard. Betrayal resolved. Attacking with the servo. Okay, no ninjutsu. Servo gets in for 1. AP says, my lord, Dissonance is getting out of control. No wizards or ninjas in the wizard versus ninja matchup. Why would Wizards of the Coast ruin our lives like this? You know what, AP? Wizards doesn't care about us. But I waited online for 5 hours on my computer for the Final Fantasy Secret Lair. And I bought 17 of them. And I'm flying out to the next Magicon. They don't care about us.
I'll attempt to make another server.
They don't like me personally. This company doesn't like me. All right, we got 2 servos now. I cracked myself up. 2 servos now. Attacking for 2.
My goal is to delay long enough.
I think it's happening, folks. I think we're going to see a ninja. There's Kaito.
Only thing I think is
Non-token creature?
oh, this is
Shoulder's Edict ain't bad.
kind of rough for you as soon as like the naughty result, but that's
Yeah, that's the nature of the business, right?
so that's
Force of Will pitching Kaito to counter Shoulder's Edict. Pretty big here. So Kaito's going to get through. Along with the servo. Gonna plus Kaito now to make an emblem and pass the turn. There's the Kaito emblem, beautifully done by Paul and the tokens. Well done, Paul. Attacking Kaido. I guess. Can sack a servo, make a Thopter here. And block. The Thopter's going to get fatal pushed. Nice Thopter token. So, okay. So the Bowmaster got through to Kaito. Then a Tamio gets deployed. Not bad. Yuriko could be pretty gross here. Okay, gonna stun Tamio. Attack for 4.
No effects.
No 3.
No effects. David drops to 3. Plays an Ornithopter. Should we have played Yuriko pre-combat?
Oh, you took 4 to.
Yeah, so I wrote it down.
Yeah, yeah. Same.
That might have been a missed opportunity to Yuriko there, right? Am I forgetting what Yuriko does? Hold on. Yeah, whenever a ninja deals combat damage, that could potentially have won the game. Gave David another turn here, potentially. Maybe just protecting Yuriko for now, but... Snapcaster. A wizard! Tamio's a wizard, but... Tamio doesn't feel like a wizard.
Yeah. Alright.
Children's Edict. Sack a Planeswalker. Kaido's gone. Paul might pay for that. Oh man, a fatal push now on the Ornithopter.
Yeah, I know. In response to the push. Yeah.
In response to the fatal push, Brainstorm. There are going to be some Bowmaster triggers here. This might have gotten ugly for Paul.
Put it back like that.
Could turn this Thopter into a 4/4 construct with the Retrofitter Foundry, don't forget.
Okay, so do I get anything with bringing the Ornithopter when the push is already on it?
Yeah, there's a fatal push already pointed at the Thopter. What do we want to do with these Bowmaster triggers? I think they're going to the face, making a 3/3 Orc army as well.
And then sack it.
Okay, sacking the Ornithopter to make the construct.
Where did the token go?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it feels really bad knowing that you just get to make a 4/4 in response. I was like, well, it's that or lose.
So stack is cleared.
Everything's
It's still my turn.
and I'm empty.
It's still my turn.
Yep, still your turn. Yep.
Okay, another Ornithopter, not bad. Tamio, not bad. The Orc is supposed to be a 3/3. The Bowmaster was already on the table. This is close. Ornithopter and Tamio will be able to attack on the following turn and potentially get that Yuriko to close this out. There's also a 4/4 construct, which is no joke. Retrofitter Foundry will, of course, untap. There's a ninja emblem, so at 3 life, David will go down to 1 if Yuriko hits. Just from combat damage. Tamio gets blocked by Tamio.
Draw the clue token.
Cracking the clue. Looks like David's holding a Bowmaster and a Lorien revealed, I think.
Would you like to hold my construct?
Should Dave have attacked more? Probably not. 4/4 construct on defense. Retrofitter Foundry on tap now. Can turn an Ornithopter into a 4/4 construct, we know.
3, 6 on board. I swing out. Trigger, I make a clue.
Swinging out, triggering, make a clue. Yuriko could be in hand.
That's a 3/3, right?
Okay, Orc Army blocking. We know about a Bowmaster in hand, so it could potentially trade here.
I'm going to ninjutsu the Ornithopter
I will keep that on top.
with the Yuriko.
Okay, Ninjutsu on the Ornithopter with Yuriko coming in. Bowmaster. Go to the face. Grow the Orc Army.
And you take 1. You go to, or you take 2, sorry, with the emblem.
Yeah, I do take 2.
So you go to 1. Yuriko trigger on the stack.
I think you know what's on top.
I know, but I'm gonna pop
Yeah,
the
so it's a
clues.
land.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I'm
popping the
saying.
clue.
So I need 2 lands on top.
You need 2 lands on top.
Or an Ornithopter.
Or an Ornithopter.
Swing and a miss with the Yuriko. That's not good.
Yeah, put in hand.
So you know about this one. I'll put that there.
These trade.
That's a 3/3. This
The got pumped up with the Bowmaster to 4.
right.
All right, the 4/4's traded.
That's the Ornithopter.
Yeah, there was Bowmaster triggers missed there, right?
Really close.
I caught that.
Go ahead.
I don't know. The players are moving through. Thopter back on the board. David's still at 1.
Or it could be another Ornithopter.
That's true. That is very true.
Things have gone kind of wrong here for Paul after potentially a missed opportunity to close out this game a couple turns ago. I'm kind of stuck on that. Swing with Tamio, swing with Snapcaster.
I'll block the Temur with the Thopter.
The Ornithopter is blocked by... the Tamio is blocked by an Ornithopter. They're going to deal 0 damage to each other, I guess. Now a Kaito comes in on David's side. Not bad.
Okay, so you take 3.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Take 3.
1, 7.
I'm at 7.
So the Wizard's deck with a Ninja. Paul has a Wizard on the board.
Stun the Yuriko.
Stun the Yuriko?
All right, Yuriko getting stunned. Yuriko's going to be stuck for a while. Bad news for Paul.
Island cycle?
Okay, Island Cycling Lorien revealed here. It's going to be Mystic Sanctuary? It is.
Put a push on top.
Fatal push to the top of the deck.
You have
It's pretty good.
I have 2 other secrets.
okay. Alright.
Spells uncounterable.
End step, I'm going to fetch Surveil.
Okay, an end step fetch to Surveil with Undercity Sewers here for Paul. Looking for a way to close this out. Yuriko getting stuck is pretty annoying, but finding another ninja, Yuriko will still trigger, but the ninja would deal damage anyway. David's at 1. So we barely even need the Eureka trigger at this point.
Surveil trigger.
Yeah, there were missed Bowmaster triggers as well. There have been some things missed in this game. This has been a wild game. These games are tough. There was a lot going on in these games. If you're a spectator right now, I wouldn't hold it against these players. This has been a tough board to navigate. There's a lot to think about here.
I think I'm gonna bin a fatal push.
Binning a fatal push.
Untap draw.
Not looking for that.
This goes to 1. Yes, I'm not doing anything. Draw. Alright, let's see. You have 1 in hand?
Baleful Strix with 2 Bowmasters on the stack on the board.
You'll get 2 triggers. So I draw. Maybe it's a fair.
You draw.
Yeah.
Okay, so triggers. That's pretty good.
I've been liking it actually. It's been doing
Yeah, I'll
pretty
do
well.
one here, one face.
Having a daze. Sure.
For you?
All right, just trying to cycle that Baleful Strix. It's gonna die. Bowmasters will grow, make an Orc army. Retrofitter Foundry.
Do I have enough life to attack? Because you can do 4. No, I have to. Go.
Let's do it.
I may be dead.
Draw.
So now the Fatal Push was drawn.
Yeah.
Eureka's still stunned. Both players with low life totals. Knockout punch seems like it's coming soon from either side.
Push 10 there.
Fatal Push on Tamio.
Yeah,
Paul with 2 Retrofitter Foundries.
yeah.
Plus Kaito make an emblem.
Yeah, it's a very incredible. I just bring in artifact and your artifact is like a blaze.
I like a bring.
That would have been pretty gross. I had to have the Knights of phase out somebody, but.
I feel like it's very hard for you post board unless you have like a really aggressive hands to start.
Yeah.
Because not just like
Swinging out.
at this point, like this matchup.
You're
because
really good. Didn't you come home? It's all good, right?
almost.
All right, swinging with everybody, making a clue. Retrofitter Foundry is going to make a servo. We saw that coming.
That's fair.
Yeah, the Wizards deck has a ninja, and the ninja deck has a wizard. So,
For you,
Yeah,
you need
I'm
like
trying to
a
think.
combo of like a bunch of ones.
you know what, Richard and Pizza? They don't know what they're doing. They're making these cards, and they don't even know how to make tribal decks anymore.
Like you have to have all these pieces. I'm like, okay, cool. Get rid of the threat. Land drop.
Yeah.
You have how many in hand?
You're just
Land
waiting.
drop. Go.
You're just waiting. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting sort of vibe, I guess, in terms of. It just feels like a gloss. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
no-
like,
no effects.
In like a Hitchcock
No effects.
sense.
So I
you
move to
know what I mean?
blockers?
Like, you know, like an Alfred Hitchcock movie where it's just like,
I've
Yeah,
never.
who the
I don't think
blockers?
I've watched.
Okay, we're going to blockers. Yeah, nothing matters anymore.
it just tells the time, but the clock ticking, Alfred Hitchcock movie. You know, the
This
suspense.
will
The
block.
suspense is just constantly building, like turn after turn. You know what I mean?
For you, it's
But it's not like,
So this would
whereas
be
it's like
4,
whereas
5.
any number of
This would be
things, you know what I
4.
mean?
Yeah, like for you, it's like okay. Thopter will block Kaido.
is coming down the corridor.
This
Yeah.
will block.
Where do I go?
One of the bowmasters.
And meanwhile, I'm
and
just a
then
bird out there
before
with a machete.
I
Like, or no,
will.
in the Shuko, just
You
sitting
still
there,
have the fatal
walking
push.
slowly towards you.
I use the fatal push from the top.
I will sack the
Meanwhile, to me,
Thopter
I'm like, okay,
before
I got past turn 3.
damage
I have all these
after.
swords. I've sculpted my
Maybe
hand.
the priority is slightly off. I think you get priority first.
Yeah, so before, yeah, that happens. You sack it. So we're going to damage. So you do that. So this does nothing now.
This does nothing.
No damage.
This would
These two
attempt
go to
to
trade.
and then I take 3.
And so that's tapped.
That's tapped as well.
Yep. So you take 3.
I take 3.
Okay, so Ornithopter blocked Kaito, a servo traded with a Bowmaster. The Ornithopter was sacked to make a 4/4 construct with the Retrofitter Foundry, and 3 damage got in. 2/2 Orc Army and a Bowmaster got through. Clue was just sacked. Snapcaster, Fatal Push the construct. Not bad.
Use the stun counter.
Last stun counter removed from Yuriko, but David gets the game. What a game 1. What a game 2. Going to game 3.
End up in these freaking slogs.
Yeah. Fair magic.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
That was a tough one to navigate. I don't envy the players having to figure all that out in front of all of you fine people.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not like I affected my library.
Getting ready for game 3. Ninjas will be on the play.
I will keep up with it.
Paul says I'll keep Mulligan to 6. AP wondering if the DCI was alerted about that game. You know what, AP? Maybe you should call it in yourself. Maybe just make sure. Undercity Sewers. Left the card on top, it seems. Ornithopter. Here's a Ponder. Okay, listen. I know a lot of you have product fatigue and are very upset about Universes Beyond and the whole thing. But how beautiful is it here in the year 2025 we have Ornithopters on the board. That's just wonderful. That's it. That's all I want to say. Power creep. Ingenious Infiltrator comes in.
Recast Ornithopter.
There's a brainstorm for David. Its number says, I'm a big fan of the Kaladesh Ornithopters. There are a lot of cool Ornithopters now, actually. Looks like Paul has a 5th edition. Yeah, AP pointing out that 0 mana cost creatures were a mistake. The Kobolds. I think Kobolds are really good in Commander, too, right? Isn't there like Rograk or something is like powerful in CEDH?
I'm gonna get an underground sea. That's 4. Yeah. Push.
4, yeah.
Okay, Fatal Push takes out the Infiltrator. Warm Eagle says Skull Clamp made 0 drop strong. Yeah, a lot went wrong, Warm Eagle.
You're tapped out, right?
Yes.
Actually,
Can I just throw that?
Oops, accidentally revealed a Baragorth.
I will.
It would have been good in the previous game. Game 3. This has been a banger of a match so far, in my opinion. Both decks with wizards and ninjas, it turns out. There's a Tamio. One deck is wizard ninjas, the other deck is ninja wizards. We're here in like the early turns of game 3. Has anyone watching felt tempo in this match yet? Has there been any tempo yet? Does anybody know? Tamio and Ornithopter. Not much power on the board, but lots of power at the same time. Lord says the tempo meter feels low. Here's a Ponder. Shout out to Lord, our monthly cheerleader. Shout out to Mandroth, our monthly gift sub leader, holding us down for the past 30 days. See their names top left of your screen. This is a, if you're new around here, 90s MTG, mostly a viewer-funded show. Our members keep us going. Thoughtseize here. Bowmaster, Bowmaster, Fatal Push, Brainstorm.
Push, sure.
Fatal Push taken.
Ah. You have a bonus. Untap. Draw.
So Paul with multiple Bowmasters in hand. Attacking here with Tamio and the Ornithopter. Seems like no ninjutsus are happening. There's a Brainstorm happening, though.
I was thinking, I didn't know.
You're gonna, you got 2 Bowmaster potentially.
Yep.
We got it. 4-0, broke into format. How many Final Fantasy cards do you play? Tamio might be flipping into a Planeswalker here.
Tamio flips, I plus. I'll test another Ornithopter.
All right, Tamio will plus its loyalty and another Ornithopter and passing the turn. This Ninja's deck is really cool, by the way. People might be sleeping on the Ninja decks. They're pretty good. A lot of disruption. Powerful effects. Here's a Brainstorm. Might as well get it in while Bowmaster mana is not available. Once those Bowmasters are online, it's going to be hard to Brainstorm. It's going to hurt.
And Sharp Trainer?
It's like
Narset -2.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Thunder Trap Trainer. I believe that's our first time seeing this in this match. One of the offspring creatures from Bloomborough. It finds a Kaito.
Plus.
So Tamio will tick up to 6. Well, Tamio doing its thing. It's going to be hard to attack here. Thunder Trap only has 1 power.
Swing a Temur.
Going to block it. Prevent Kaito from ninjutsuing in. Barragoyf. That's not too bad.
On end step.
I'm 100% that I signed up, and I don't remember if I showed up.
Barragoyf. One of the better creatures in the Legacy format these days. Bowmaster getting flashed in. Orc Army amassed. Tamio's going to have protection here. It's going to be difficult to hit. Strategic Betrayal. So Thunder Trap Trainer and David's Graveyard are both exiled. 3 power on the Barragoyf right now. Tamio's going to go up to 8 loyalty, so running out of time here in game 3 is David. Looks like David just threw Flame out of a Nor. Flame of Honor? I don't know. How did they pronounce it in the movie? Honor.
Swing a Temur.
Swinging at Tamio. Orc Army will chump. Some life will be gained. Tamio doesn't get hit. It's at 8 loyalty. -7 to ultimate. Draw half the deck. A Bowmaster potentially could be a problem for Paul. But Paul has a Bowmaster probably to Bowmaster the Bowmaster.
Oh, that's interesting.
Could see a battle over the next turn. This game is about to be decided, I think, one way or another. I think.
I will minus. Or do the ultimate.
Bowmaster in response to the ultimate. Force of Will pitching Kaito. And that is the match. Paul gets it. Ninjas victorious over Wizards. GG's. GG's. The ninjutsu mechanic was a mistake, it turns out. It's obvious to us now. I'm sorry. There's nothing else to really say. Okay. Stick around for a raid, everybody. That wraps it up for me for today. Stick around for a raid. You'll get some channel points for sticking around. Make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. And I'll see everybody soon. Peace out.